Hey everyone, welcome to GVN Interviews. My name is Mike Vaughn, and I'm talking to the director Natalie Metzger about her short film Sleep Study, which can be seen right now on Hulu as part of their bite-sized Halloween collection. First of all, I have to say I'm a really big fan. You produced two of my favorite films last year, The Beta Test and Where It Was Within. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. It was kind of awesome because I got to talk to Josh Rubin a few times, once for this and for Scare Me. So that was like pretty awesome. So yeah, this is such a treat. Jumping right in, how did the idea for Sleep Study come about?
So I have been kind of diving into a bunch of books about the science of sleep and books on sleep disorders and neuroscience. I'm a little bit of a science nerd and have just been like fascinated by that kind of stuff. And so I was digging into that around the same time that 20th Digital reached out and were like, hey, do you have something in the horror space? They had seen my sci-fi short, Immortal. And I was like, I think this would be really, really fun to do something within like this world of sleep disorders and the brain gone wrong. And so, my husband and I are in the middle of talking about potentially starting a family and all these things. And I was thinking about the sleep deprivation that comes with parenthood and how sleep deprivation enhances in any kind of sleep disorder. In some of the books I was reading, sleep deprivation can be the equivalent of driving under the influence, even if you're just like are sleep deprived, just getting like 4 to 6 hours over two nights, you essentially are like you are under the influence. And so I was like, that is fascinating. And I don't think a lot of people know that. And so I was like, so a new parent must be just like so impaired with any of their decision making with anything. And then someone that has a sleep disorder, that just will, enhance it. And so, I just kind of went down this rabbit hole of sleep science to write this.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And I really love how simple yet an effective idea this is, because, I mean, of course, you are like the most vulnerable at night in your bedroom. So I love that it kind of plays on that fear. Like my husband cannot hang with anything like the paranormal activity stuff with like the leg grabbing. That's a no-go. So
yeah.
But what would you say was the most challenging aspects of this particular film?
So I think going in, one of the things that was important to me is making sure that each scene was a single take. Part of that is that I felt like the line between dream and reality could be so much more blurred if you're just living in the scene and then weird shit, it starts happening, but you haven't cut and you're just, it feels more like it's happening in the real world. And so there's one scene that involves going upstairs, downstairs, and has two stunts on either side. And it was all supposed to be a single take. And so trying to figure that out with my DP and camera op of like, okay, how are we going to pull this off? Can the gimbal rig fit through the stairwell? Like all of these like weird kind of funny things. But we were able to pull it off. It took several takes, but we were able to get there. And luckily working with Olivia and Kevin, they were just on for every single take. So it was really easy to not have to worry about performance. It was really just about getting the kind of finessing of the crazy camera work.
Nice. One of the aspects of Sleep Study that I really like is the finale, and I'll keep it very spoiler free because you all should be checking this out. But I will say it has both an impact both metaphorically and literally. So was it always a plan to go like that, like bleak and hard with the finale?
Yeah, so it was something that I always imagined it going, but it was definitely a conversation with my producer and also with 20 Digital of like, is this like our audience is going to be able to handle this? It's pretty dark. But that's where I imagined it would, like how it would happen. The physics of it, I don't want to give too much away, but like the physics of like what actually happened, like makes sense for what you kind of get a little bit of a sense of. So, yeah, it just felt like it had to go there.
Nice. I love that. And I also really love how it's ambiguous. You can definitely interpret it as, again, I'm trying to be spoiler free, but it could either have really happened, or this could be maybe a dream, or, maybe she did it, but was possessed. I like how you can sort of interpret that differently, but it doesn't feel like underwritten in that way.
Thanks. Yeah. I think I didn't want to do anything that like actually showed specifics. Like it was, like let's just let it kind of live in the audience's imagination. And I have like a clear idea of like what it actually looks like of what she's finding. But yeah.
Now, you've done a lot of short features and documentaries. Do you think you'd want to direct a feature film sometime?
Yeah. I have a feature idea for Sleep Study, which I'm excited to explore. And then I also have a feature script for Immortal, my sci-fi short that I want to make at some point.
Oh, that's great. Both I think would really be fantastic. Speaking of projects, you have a documentary that you were the executive producer on called This Land. Can you tell us more about that, and a little bit about like when people can expect that to come out?
Yeah, so This Land I think should actually be coming out later this year, but that was a project where the filmmakers reached out, and when I watched it, I was so blown away. They filmed a group all over the country, all on election day, a few years ago, a very important election day. And it just kind of shows the fabric of America in a very unbiased, just observational way. And you just see all of these different elements of like how, like what makes up America. And I thought that was really kind of special and unique, and I think important for, to bring the country together, of just seeing like all these different aspects of who we are. So yeah, I hopped on board of that one and just, helped like just, some advice on, guiding them through the festival and distribution process.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Lastly, is there any other upcoming projects that fans can look forward to seeing from you?
Yeah, so I actually start shooting a new short documentary tomorrow about life extension. So that'll be hopefully coming out sometime next year as we dig into that. And then there's a couple projects that I produced. There's a feature film about Yogi Berra that played at Tribeca this past year and will be released by Sony Pictures Classics in spring of next year. And we also have a new horror film that I just produced called Spoonful of Sugar. It just premiered last week at Fantastic Fest and will be releasing on Shudder in March of next year.
Oh, nice. Well, I love Shudder, and we are not sponsored by them, but I always say that everybody needs to check them out. So that's really fantastic. I know Werewolves Within is also currently on Shudder, and also you can get it on home video. But gosh, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me about your fantastic short film. Again, y'all can check that out on Hulu right now as part of their bite-sized Halloween short film collection.
Thanks so much, Mike.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Emma.
Thank you, love. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm getting to that point of the day where like doing the multiple stop buttons is quite hard. I'm quite elderly.
Oh, no problem. All right, see ya.
Okay, bye.